Hi, Jeff McLemore from Clef, and today we're going to talk about connecting the bass to your amplifier. This also applies to guitar, by the way, in case you're doing that and you're just getting started on this. There is a proper sequence that should be done. First of all, always plug the bass guitar in first when you're getting ready to play. Then plug into the amplifier. And even doing it that way, it's a good idea not to turn the amplifier on until after that is all done. Make sure that your volume control is down fairly low. You don't want it to be up really loud to start with, because you can damage a speaker that way. These speakers this is a 10-inch speaker in this amp, and they are damageable. Now, you can hear the tone I'm getting. It's a little soft, so I'm going to turn it up a little more. There we go, about right there. All right, so now that we have plugged the amplifier into, or I'm sorry, the bass into the amplifier, let's talk about what some of the different knobs do. Here we have the main volume control. Some amplifiers have a separate gain and master volume. Usually the master volume is on this side. This is a simpler amp. I tend to like the simpler ones a little bit better. So I've got the volume set at about the 12 o'clock position here. Ignore these two knobs for now. We'll talk about them in a minute. Low frequency, mid-range, and high frequency. So this is what the treble knob does. And I'm playing the bass using my fingernail at this point. I'm going to roll this off, and you can tell that the real bright sound is kind of gone now. But if I boost it up, and I'm still hitting the string the same way. So that's what your treble knob does. Now I'm going to go to the mid-range knob, which is the middle frequency range, and I'm going to go to a different string for that. I'm going to go to the second string, the D string. And again, I'm going to use my fingernail, and I'm going to roll it off. And listen to how it just sounds kind of dark now. There's not much what we call presence to the sound. And I'm going to boost it. Makes a big difference there. But again, I tend to like that 12 o'clock position. The bass, I'm going to go to the fourth string now. And I'm going to roll it off. And all of a sudden it sounds like you're listening to a little 3-inch speaker on a tiny radio. Now I'm rolling it back up to 12 o'clock. Now I'm going to boost it. Now it sounds like a subwoofer in a car, basically. So that's what your three controls do. And it's always a good idea, even the manuals state for your amplifier, if a manual comes with your amp, which it should, it says start off with the controls at the 12 o'clock position. These other two knobs, not every amplifier has this, but this has overdrive built into it, which is like distortion. I personally never use distortion on a bass. It would be, well, I shouldn't say never. I've only done it a few times, and when I did, it was like I was playing in a very large room, playing very loud rock and roll. And at that point, I just used a little bit of overdrive. But I would just leave the overdrive controls alone. It's just not usable really in a church situation. Oh, one more thing, I almost forgot. When you're done, we want to do the opposite of what we did before. If you forget and leave the amplifier on, it's okay if you unplug from the amp first, like so, before unplugging from the bass. If you unplug from the bass, you could get a loud pop or a real loud, like a hum, like that sort of thing. And that can actually do damage to the speaker, like permanent damage that we do not want to do. So best overall is to turn your amp off first, and then still even with that, just get used to a routine of unplugging it from the amp, then unplug your bass last. Sort of the opposite of how we started out.